What if I told you the Dallas Mavericks just handed the keys to their entire franchise? To a teenager. Not Luka, not Kyrie, an 18-year-old experiment, already causing shockwaves across the NBA. No one saw this coming. Not from a team that already had Luka Doncic. Not from a coach as calculated as Jason Kidd. Not from a franchise that spent years trying to build something steady, only to suddenly go all in on chaos. But here we are, Summer League, Las Vegas, July 10th, 2025. The hype wasn't just real, it was engineered. The NBA practically handpicked this matchup. Mavericks versus Lakers, cooperflagg versus Bronny James, old money versus new blood. And the buzz, insane. Tickets that usually go for pocket change, now starting at $85. And if you wanted courtside, you'd better have $3,000 lying around for a Summer League game. But this wasn't just about a game. This was a glimpse into the future, and the Mavericks were playing with fire. Because when you put a kid like cooperflagg in the spotlight, an 18-year-old who looks like he was built in a basketball lab, you either create a star or shatter his confidence before his career even starts. And Flagg? He was already under pressure. Coming off a dominant college season, 19 points per game, nearly 8 rebounds, a court vision that reminded people of LeBron at 19, and transition speed like Giannis. He looked like the real deal, a highlight machine with a defensive motor to match. But here's where things got weird. The Mavericks didn't just want him to be good. They wanted him to be something else. Coach Jason Kidd wasn't drawing up simple plays. He wasn't hiding Flagg behind veterans. No, he was throwing him into the fire. Point guard reps, shooting guard matchups, switch-heavy defense. Every position, every responsibility, no safety net. It wasn't just bold, it was borderline reckless. And that first game, you could feel the weight on Flagg's shoulders the second he walked onto the court. Across from him stood Bronny James, LeBron's son, yes, but also a relentless defender who came out with something to prove. The Lakers didn't even have a first-round pick cleared to play, and somehow they looked like the better organized team. Flagg's first bucket was electric, a coast-to-coast dunk that made the arena erupt. But then, everything fell apart. He looked hesitant, overthinking every drive, getting locked up by Bronny, missing open looks. And when he did find space, the shots just didn't fall. Final line, 10 points on 5 of 21 shooting. Flagg later called it the worst game of his life. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. But here's the twist. That was exactly what Jason Kidd wanted. This wasn't about winning a Summer League game. This was about stress testing the future. Kidd had done something similar years ago with Giannis in Milwaukee, giving him point guard duties to build confidence and control. And now he was doing it again with cooperflagg. The Mavericks weren't just developing a player, they were building a new identity, a team with a 6'9" creator who could guard 4 positions, who could block a shot, grab the rebound, and run the break himself, who could post up or pull up from deep. It was dangerous, and it was working. Because in the very next game, cooperflagg flipped the script. Facing Carter Bryant, the number 14 pick, and Dylan Harper, the number 2 pick in the draft, Flagg came out locked in. Same confidence, smarter choices, clean, quick decisions. He looked like a completely different player. He found the spots he missed before. He wasn't forcing it, just letting the game come to him. He scored 31 points on 10 of 21 shooting, knocked down threes, attacked the rim, stayed aggressive. Even his body language was different, cool, focused, hungry. And then, just like that, the Mavericks shut him down. No more Summer League. They'd seen enough. Because to them, this wasn't about stats. It wasn't even about wins. It was about building a foundation. Cooperflagg wasn't drafted to be a sidekick. He was drafted to be the engine, the future. And with Kyrie's health always a question mark, and D'Angelo Russell more stopgap than savior, Flagg might be running the Mavericks offense sooner than anyone expected. That's the gamble. Take a kid with all the tools and put the world on his shoulders. Not slowly, not cautiously, but right now. And here's the scariest part for the rest of the league. He might be ready for it. Because if cooperflagg gets consistent from deep, defenses won't know what to do with him. It's already hard enough when a guy his size can handle the ball like a guard and see over the top of defenders like a quarterback. But if he starts pulling up from three with confidence, you can't sag off. You can't switch. You can't trap Luka and hope someone else beats you, because that someone else just might be better than you planned for. People throw around comparisons like confetti in this league, but the ones circling around Flagg are different. Some tried to say Andrei Kirilenko because of the defense and frame, but that's selling it way too short. Cooper has smoother mechanics, more offensive upside, and the mentality of a killer, not just a role player. Others mention Jason Tatum, especially the way Flagg can use jab steps, footwork, and that high release to get clean looks. But even that might not be enough, because there's a little bit of Giannis in there too. Not just physically, but in the way Jason Kidd is trying to unleash him. The fearless development arc, the "we'll break him now to build him stronger later" mindset. He's only 18, the youngest in his draft class, still growing into his body, still figuring out the league. But the Mavericks don't care. They're not waiting 3 seasons. They're not hiding him behind veterans. They're betting big, now. And maybe that's the most dangerous part of all, because this isn't a rebuilding team throwing darts at a wall. This is a playoff caliber franchise. Luka Doncic is still in his prime. The window to win isn't theoretical, it's open right now. And yet, instead of playing it safe, Dallas is choosing chaos. The front office knows exactly what this looks like. The fans do too. It's risky, it's loud, it's uncertain. But it's also exciting in a way Mavericks basketball hasn't been in years. There's a new energy around this team, a feeling like something special is brewing, like maybe, just maybe, they found the piece they didn't know they were missing. Not a Luka sidekick, a Luka co-star, someone who can take pressure off him late in games, who can guard the other team's best player, who can initiate offense when Luka rests and finish plays when Luka draws the defense. And defensively, that's where things get terrifying. Because if Flagg lives up to even half the two-way potential scouts are whispering about, this Mavericks team could be a nightmare matchup. We're talking 6 feet 9 inches length, 7-foot wingspan, switchability across 1 through 4, and timing that's already showing up in steals and blocks. There's a reason Jason Kidd is willing to take heat for throwing this kid into the deep end. He knows what the payoff could be. He's seen what happens when you trust someone early, before they're ready. It either breaks them or turns them into something unstoppable. And Flagg, he doesn't flinch. After that brutal first game, he didn't hide, didn't complain, just said he needed to be better and showed up with 30+ in his next outing. You can coach skills, you can work on mechanics, but mentality, that's rare. And cooperflagg has it. What's next? For now, the Mavericks are keeping him under wraps until the regular season. They've already seen what they needed in Vegas. The flashes, the fire, the foundation, and behind the scenes. Word is Flagg's already working with player development coaches every day, studying film, fine-tuning his shot, learning the offense inside out. They're not wasting a second, because they know the schedule's brutal. Early games against title contenders, primetime matchups, no hiding spots. If you're going to be great in this league, you don't ease into it. You jump in, you take your lumps, you figure it out. And that's what this is really about. The Mavericks aren't just playing basketball. They're playing the long game. They're building a version of themselves we haven't seen yet. One where Luka doesn't have to carry everything. One where cooperflagg becomes the kind of player who doesn't just fit in, he redefines what Dallas basketball looks like. And if this works, if Flagg turns into even 80% of what Kidd and the front office believe he can be, then every team that passed on him, every GM that thought he was too raw, too young, too risky, will have to live with that decision for a decade. Because cooperflagg isn't just a project anymore. He's the gamble that might flip the West on its head. Wild times ahead in Dallas, huh? Whether this move turns out to be genius or madness, one thing's for sure. We're all going to be watching. If you're as curious as we are to see how this all plays out, hit that like button, drop a comment, and let us know what you think about the Mavericks' bold plan. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. We've got a whole season of drama ahead. See you in the next one.